CCR TV, channel of God's love. A warm welcome to all our viewers on this episode of Activists of Goa. In recent years, Goans have to come out frequently on the streets to fight for their rights and at times to voice their opposition against the infrastructure projects undertaken in the various villages without taking the villagers into confidence or against the wishes of the people. One such project that has seen strong opposition from the people is the double tracking project passing through the South Goa villages in the Murmugaon Taluka. गोंयचो एक वोट हो एक NGO डबल ट्रॅकिंग नाका म्हूण रेल्वे विकास निगम लिमिटेड हांचेर आड झुजता. तांची पुर्वजांची शेकडे आदलीं घरां आनी बाटा जमीन तांकां सांबाळून दवरूंक जाय देखून आनी ती रेल्वेक डबल ट्रॅकिंगा खातीर दिवंक नाका देखून आयज लोक गोंयचो एक वोट हाच्या आसऱ्या खाल चळवळ करून आवाज उठयता आनी कसलेय त्याग करूंक तयार आसा म्हूण अधिकाऱ्यांक चळवळींतल्यान शिडकावणी दितात. हाचेर उजवाड घालूंक आयज आमच्या स्टुडियोन आमच्या सांगातान आसा गोंयचो एकवटाचो फुडारी Orville Dourado Rodrigues. Orville Bob, CCR TV स्टुडियोन तुका आमचो माये मोगाचो येवकार.
देव बरें करूं म्हाका हें दिली म्हूण तुमच्या स्टुडियोंत.
Orville Bob, to begin with, I would like to ask you, your presence on the social activism front in Goa has been much recent, Last few years, I have been hearing this name, Orville Dourado Rodrigues. Can you throw some light on your background?
Yeah. I'm a qualified engineer and was well settled in the Middle East, having worked for government and semi-government and even international corporates in the field of construction, in high-rise buildings and infrastructure. And I used to come to Goa very often and see what was, what was happening around me. That there was leadership, that was emerging through these various organizations. And from my end, I used to back them up whatever way, at times financially or whatever, or moral support. And we had a medium of so-called as Facebook, and we used to write. Very often we used to write, and people used to taunt me, "Tu think boson ha Dubai, am shapat sangta, yo mare goyant, so yeah, So that caught me. I said, yes, I'm there, in Dubai with my job, well settled, everything. My family is with me, but there are people, these guys are on the ground. They need support. So whenever I used to come back home, and I used to at least a month, every month I used to come to Goa actually, because I had that privileges of my job and things like that. Very few people actually are, privileged. So I used to meet up with these Goans, ask them their questions, and I used to find out that, yeah, there are a lot of things are, you require them because there were so many issues. Goa was full of issues at that particular point of time. This I'm talking about in 2016-17.
Okay.
Yeah. And there were a lot of leaders who abdicated, from this movement. I don't want to name those actually. And there were people.
You mean abdicated
their responsibilities because they were there. They were there in the, I don't want to name those. Those people are still very, very much in the field. And I met some of the activists. I said we have to do something. And at that point of time, there was Minister of Forest and Environment, Mrs. Alina Saldana. Though I do not this to her views on political at that point of time, we met up and we decided that we should do something for Goa. I was still employed back then, and we formed WACAD. That was Village Action Committee Against Double Tracking. We knew that what was coming. And we tried to organize people around, and we did that for a couple of months. And I went back and I told my family, you see, I need to go back. I need to go where I belong. Yes, this is my place. I have been here for 30 long years, And now it's time to give something back to the land,
I see.
I truly love. As usual, family was little disturbed at that point of time. I will not say little, they were grossly disturbed. And my friends, they said, "Tu pisala, you are leaving everything and going for what? If you are here, you can be there, you can fund them or you can do something." I said, "No, but my presence is required. Funding, yes, we can do." All of the Goan diaspora, they have been very this with their, with their purse.
Generous.
They do support. We have seen this over the years. But you need someone, I thought that maybe I could just be there just to push, push and prod. And I came back home and I picked up on some of my close friends, associated in so many organizations that I have been associated with. And yeah, and there it was.
Orville, tell me, so you said you were coming down to Goa frequently.
Yes.
You had a well-cushioned and a secure job.
Correct.
Nothing to worry about.
Exactly.
And you had that facility of visiting your birthplace quite frequently.
Frequently, yeah.
Was this what, after coming down to Goa, seeing the situation, emerging situation, I should say,
Yeah.
within your land, several issues, environmental issues and all, was this what actually attracted you to social activism?
You can say yes, precisely because people became more materialistic. It is everybody's right, I myself left with nothing from Goa, and fortunately God has been kind enough to me and to my family, and I've whatever I beyond my expectations, I landed those jobs actually, and I've worked towards reaching that zenith of my career at that point of time.
Okay.
In this 30 years. So it has been not easy outgoing for all of us, especially Goans in the construction industry, So yes, that was it. Yeah.
I want to dig a little deeper into this, Orville. Who actually is the person you would compliment for actually, convincing you to take up social activism? Was it anything to do with your any ancestral property that was getting affected or something? Or was it just really a social cause? Because leaving such a comfortable, well-paying job, turning your back towards the corporate sector and coming down to your hometown at this young age,
Exactly.
leaves a big question mark in the minds of the people. Let's get it clear.
There are a lot of people actually who, for them it's easy to say,
I see.
Yeah, I belong to the landlord family. It has come to me by ancestry. There's nothing here. There's nothing that we can do about it. But gratefully, it was a good thing that none of my land was affected by double tracking.
Okay.
So I can say that with clarity. Though I belong to the villages where this double tracking do pass. If you ask me the question, who was the person who has motivated me, my thought process is none other than late Father Bismarck Dias.
Oh, I see.
I was associated with him.
I see.
We didn't meet too frequently, but I was associated with him on the phone and things like that.
While you were in service?
Yes.
In the foreign land?
In the foreign land, yeah.
Okay. So your interest for your land
Correct.
was really close to your heart.
Exactly.
Even though you were overseas.
Exactly.
And Father Bismarck, as you said, is one of the person who
he was a person who had everything going for him. He could have gone to, I think he was supposed to go to Europe for his further studies. He chucked that thing. You see that this is the thing what Goa is. There is so much love for for the land, but how somebody can motivate you to be part of this to this environment issues and things like that. This is something that nobody can teach you. It has to come within yourself. Nobody can
spontaneous.
Yeah, it has to be spontaneous. Yes.
Orville, म्हाका एक सांग, तूं इतली बरी नोकरी कोत्तालोय फॉरेन लँडान, बरी नोकरी कोत्तालोय, सगळें तुजें बरे भाशेन चलतालें, तूं सोशल एक्टिविजमान नासलोय आनी ह्या नव्या क्षेत्रान येवपाक तुका थिंगा कसलोच एक रिस्क घेता अशें दिसलें ना तुका? एक रिस्क फॅक्टर आसा म्हणून तुजी फामिलीय म्हणलें तुवें तुज्या सांगाता पयलीं नासली, दे वर नॉट, दे वर ग्रॉसली against your wish, you said.
They were not against, but they were. My wife was
not very comfortable with
yeah,
your decision.
Yeah, she was skeptical. My children were still growing. They were in college. Both my sons were in college
So
out there.
didn't you feel you were taking a risk by coming into this field?
I did the pros and cons. I mean, I had
You
to
researched?
I had to be a little brash in this because there was no time.
Okay.
There was no time to to do the checks and balances on this matter. Because Goa needed us. Goa needed people to fight it. This monster that was coming up through our villages. We needed everybody, irrespective. There is, in activism, there is no guarantee that you will succeed. In most cases, 99% of the cases, we will not overcome because the powers that be are so powerful and they are ruthless. You have seen during so many agitations, people have been put behind bars, then in framed up charges. So many things happen. So there is always a risk For me, it was okay. I have done through my career, I have excelled in whatever way. But for so many other people, they are starting their careers. So for them, it becomes a little difficult actually.
तुवें डिसिजन घेतलें, तुवें तुजो जॉब क्विट केलोय, फॉरेन लँड सोडून गोंया आयलोय, तुज्या गोंया खातीर, जाल्यार ह्या फिल्डान तूं नवोच, जाल्यार सुरवातेक तुका तेंको सपोर्ट प्रतिसाद कोणे असो दिलो, कोणाक कडसून तुका हें सगळें मेवलें? It is not so easy, just to come and jump into that platform and start performing. You need somebody's guidance. You need somebody's.
Correct.
Can you enlighten the viewers on this?
When I came back to Goa, I went, from house to house, and people were just, they know me as the son or as the grandson of so and so, Alex Dourado. My father was the first panch in the first panchayat in that area, and they've work for the community, through the church.
I see.
A lot of things in both Kansalim and Velsa in those areas. So the family as such is well known, and we have lived in Margaon, so I have my contacts there. But having said that, people thought, why you are doing this? Who are you? And very few people came forward actually at that point of time. One such man and one such gentleman, I will name him here. He is also a landlord, was a punch, and he stood by me. This particular person, I felt nice, like, having one punch with me, one punch member.
To begin with.
Ashok Souza, I'll point out to this man. And it felt good, and from there, we progressed. We went over from, place to place, meeting people, convincing them. It was not easy. Yes. But thereafter, so many things happened which...
You said it was not easy. Can you enlighten us, how difficult was it in the initial stages when you began?
Yeah. We formed, we had meetings actually prior to going to effort, which was formed on 20th of July 2020. We are a very nascent group. We are just 3 years old. And prior to that, I was associated with WACAD. We had organized protests. Madam Alina Saldana, she was one of our leaders at that point of time. She still is. And we were not getting the traction, And at that point of time, I had seen on the other side there was going to Awas, Captain Virato. I didn't know him personally. I gave him a call that one particular night, and he said, yes, I will be there, for this one protest. And from there on, our friendship grew. Captain Virato, Swapne Shelekar, Jayesh Shetgaonkar, Shankar Polji. So many, Goans started, coming towards us. We had our very youthful member who eventually became the chairman, Krasan Anta. He still is the punch of Majorda, Uttarda, Kalata, that panchayat. We got so many youth, started joining us. Father Bolmax Pereira and his group at, CYFC. So people started, getting attracted to us. We got Rama Kankonkar, he had his own ST. He's one of the leaders of the ST community. So diverse groups started coming under Going So Equator. we got in touch with our the great man of Goa, I will say, call him Dr. Claude Alvarez, at Goa Foundation, and Carlos.
Support came from his end
yes,
also.
from his end, because ideas started flowing. It was just like ideas are flowing from each of us. And it was really, I felt that name was really apt that we got it, that coined, going so Ekvot. Because there were so many now, we have over 36 organizations and plus, more. I have lost track of them. People keep coming to us.
In support of your organization.
In support of organization, in requesting support for their issues. It's not only about double tracking. We are doing so many diverse issues actually.
Now coming back to the main issue that you are handling at the moment, going so Ekvot, am I right? Which are the main villages that will be affected by the double tracking? Can you highlight this?
Yeah. The major issue what we have on this entire line, that is from Murmugaon up to Khole, okay. There are a couple of areas which need attention of the public. One such area is Molo in Pali village. It is in a jurisdiction of Welsam, Pali, Isorsi. Here we have an entire hamlet. There are about 27 odd families staying there in 24 odd houses. And there is a road that is dividing this hamlet. Now the track is on the eastern side of the hamlet, and it is at an elevated height. Railways are claiming the buffer zone, which is 10 meters, to be their own as operational use of the railways. Now railways have not even one employee has walked that area, because the railway track is at an elevated level. The hamlet is at a lower level. And they had their orchards, they had coconut palms, mango trees, all this. They lived on like, subsistence farming, let me put it that way. And most of these are, indigenous people in a sense, or traditional communities coming from Raponkar and Thodi Tappers. There is no other, though the land belongs to some landowners. And they have been there like Munkars, for all along. And for I don't know how many, those houses must be more than 60, 70 or even more, years old. They have a point, we call it a point, there's a rivulet that is passing by. Actually, that is the beginning of River Sal, actually.
I see.
Most say that River Sal originates from Verna.
Verna, right.
Yeah, but if you come to Pali, you will see that the river originates from there, passes the railway tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it goes towards Verna, and so and then it drains out in Betul. So these people are now going to be displaced. Okay, recently in the month of August, last month, they got 2 days notice to hand over their possessions. Okay, this letter came from the Deputy Collector Murmungaon. It was issued on the 1st of August, delivered on 25th of August. I mean, why this delay? You see how the government is playing.
So there was a time loss.
How far is Vasco from Welsam? 15 kilometers at the max. I mean, one person walking, okay, like olden days walking, or 20 minutes by bike, they could have been there and delivered this document. So this is just a game to not to give these people a chance actually.
Orville Bab, म्हाका एक सांगात, ह्या वाठारांत, ह्या गांवच्या वाठारांत जो लोक रावता न्ही, तांचे मागणें कितें? तांकां तांच्या गांवांतल्यान डबल ट्रॅकिंग नाकाच नाका, or do they want that railways should follow the proper procedure for acquisition? What exactly is it?
पयली आमची हें कितें आहा, सगळ्यांनी लोकांक डिमांड आहा. पयली क्वेश्चन आहा, हें डबल ट्रॅकिंग कित्याक? सुप्रीम कोर्टान क्लियर हें केलां की this is not economical, not physically viable, in the construction also, because it has a gradient of 37 degrees.
Okay.
And Supreme Court has also given an alternate route. Krishnapatnam port on the east coast of India. If you go to the constitution of
For
India,
imports, you mean?
for import of any any hazardous material. Now coal and coke is hazardous material, raw material. So this, as per the constitution of India, all this produce or has to be imported through the east coast of India. And the Supreme Court, in its verdict on that Maulein issue, where Goa Foundation got a relief
Yes.
in this matter, the section from Maulein to right up to Karanjol and all these areas, is on hold actually, and it's to be scrapped as per the directive of the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court. Now, when you have such things, such matters decided by the judiciary, and people are saying, why us, why our land? Because there is already a track, and coal has been passing through Goa since long, why it is not being utilized, that track, so there are questions why they are, people are thinking, this is the foremost thought in their mind, why are they made victims for a track which is not required?
And they want
And
concrete justification for that.
And they want concrete justification, yes, because they have been living there for, for generations. Now you see, these are traditional communities who live off the, sea coast of the land, of toddy tapping or whatever. You put them in an area like Sangay, what are they going to do, So that even if they are given alternate arrangement,
fear is there.
that fear is there, because you are going to, extract them out. So the thing is that no to double tracking. That's the.
Orville, has Goinso Awas done any concrete study of how many square meters of land will be actually acquired for this purpose of double tracking overall?
We had put this to the railways now, to RVNL.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, now you see this being a special project, as they term it. Special project is what? It has to be done at one go, you do the your maths, your study, you do the groundwork, is surveys, and everything is, clear, crystal clear. Now the third acquisition is going on. Every year they come, they drop some areas after some opposition.
They are doing it in piecemeal.
Okay. This is done to avoid EIA, environment impact assessment, social impact assessment. All these studies are not done. It is not for us as a NGO to conduct this. It is for they are encroachers in our land. So they have to tell us why it is done, what will be the social impact, what will be the environment impact. None of these studies have been done.
आता तू तुरपंग विषयी जाल्यार the affected villages, say आता आरोसी सान घेऊया. आरोसी, वेलसांव, पाली, इशोरसी, as you said. Double tracking तो जालें जाल्यार हांगासरलीं कितलीं सुमार घरां जी आतां आसात तांचेर कुराड येतली कितली मोडपाक वतली?
आतां आमचे एक प्रिमियर वाडो थिंगा एक 4 घरां मोडपा आहलीं. So after this, lot of opposition, led by our Goinso Ekward and the people in the area, Panch and Sarpanch, who have been very, very active in opposing. In fact, our panel, Goinso Ekward panel in Velsan is now the panel, which took up these issues, and they emerged victorious. So 6 houses were saved in that area. Okay, so the railways have dropped the land acquisition proceeding after the land award was passed.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a small victory for us.
Okay.
Thereafter, now we have this issue of Molo. So about 20 odd houses are immediately under this for demolition. So
20 houses.
20 houses, yes. This entire village, entire hamlet.
Entire hamlet, as you said in the beginning.
Apart from that, I hear also in Colin also we have an issue. We were there actually, and now the situation is such. Whoever goes there, is targeted. So some of our members, are afraid. You know how in Colin, a lot of we hear about more than 100 odd houses are going to be targeted. Actually, we don't know the truth actually, the ground truth, but that's exactly how it is. In Kansani, for example, the houses are not going to be affected.
Okay.
But
their land
and the compound walls. Now you imagine, this these rakes with 2 engines pass by houses which are, which were built during in 16 and 1700s.
Yes.
You can call them heritage houses.
Heritage.
Okay. Can they sustain this? My house, which is about 350 meters away from the tracks, whenever the train passes,
It feels the
because
impact.
it feels impact, though it's a modern house.
Right.
Okay, it sways actually. The second floor it sways.
Okay.
So you can imagine it literally sways, and I have lost a lot
I
of.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, you can imagine what will happen when the train is passing hardly 2 or 3 meters from these ancestral houses. So the government says no, houses are not getting affected. Arey Baba, it is not immediate. Over a period of time, these things will crumble. Yeah.
Continuous, effect
Yes,
of
yes.
the thing.
And the frequency of trains. Right now, we
Yes.
have hardly about 8 or 10 rakes of carrying coal. It will come, it will not be double. When you say double means maybe people assume that it will be 10 means 20. No, it could be 40, 60. We don't know because you have access, free flow of traffic actually. So,
Orville, म्हाका एक सांग, आतां जी पळय जमीन एक्विजिशनाक वेतिली घरांशी,
हय.
तातूंत कितें कल्टिवेबल लँड आसा थिंगा? शेत कामत कोत्तात
हय,
ती
थिंगा
जमीन आसा?
थिंगा शेत आहा, मागीर लोकांची आमचे कितें आमच्या वाठारांत सगळीं माड आहा. ते कितें आतां दे हॅव हॅक्ड दोस. नाव इफ यू गो टू सी यू विल से देयर आर नो कोकोनट palms. But I have pictures which were, shot and
Prior
to this. This was whole coconut groves have been cut, and cut at night when people are indoors. They put markers during COVID when people were indoors. Likewise, what they did in Mole, where that also we were associated with. In Mole area, they felled 40,000 trees in no time.
I see.
Yeah.
So quick action.
Exactly. We put people indoors, so we are afraid of COVID and they go about doing their job.
Okay. Orville, म्हाका एक सांग, when this thing is happening, I mean, the double tracking process is on, land acquisition is on, have the individual property owners taken any recourse to legal, the law, any process to safeguard their properties?
Yes, we have matters pending.
Individual owners have
Yes,
gone?
we have matters pending. Goinsa Court has assisted them
Okay.
through other organizations, and they have gone to the matters are pending. I don't want to discuss this because matter is sub
It's
judice.
sub judice
It is
matter.
in the High Court. Also, yes, we have also.
So they have approached
They have approached
to
yeah.
the legal course.
Yeah, exactly.
म्हाका एक सांग, अशें जालें जाल्यार आतां RVNL जी आसा ती जमीन घेता म्हणटा एक्वायर वॉट एवर बाय फोर्स जाल्यार तो आर दे गिविंग alternate land for this people who
No.
will be affected?
No such
Any plan is there?
No such plan has come to us, and neither people will accept.
Okay, are they willing to accept? That's
No,
the next question.
people are not going. I have one particular person, Bruno Pereira. He got a land award of 6 crores 35 lakhs, and trust me, this area, in
So
Isorsi,
it must be a huge tract of land.
it's quite a huge tract of land. I mean, this man could have just turned his back towards Goinsa Equard. He was with us. He's associated with us. He's also one of the petitioners in the High Court. He called me up. He said, "I will not do anything that will destroy my Goa." And then at the appointed day when he was, they called him up. His names came up. We were all there. I knew, in my heart, I trust this gentleman. He's been God-fearing person, and he's down to earth Goan actually. Any other man, could have, said, so crore, so koti. Okay, people would have started making calculation. I'll buy a car, I'll buy a new house, new things,
But not in this case.
He said, no, this thing, I am a caretaker of this land. This I've got it through my ancestry. I will never say. And he refused point blank to take this award.
Okay.
I mean, this gives us hope,
Yeah.
gives us ordinary people hope that there are still people like such gentlemen like Bruno Pereira in Goa who are willing to, stake everything, even what came to them, it was like a gift,
I know. Yeah.
Prior
Who
to
would refuse such a big offer?
Exactly. So likewise, there are so many instances in our areas, where people have refused awards.
आमच्यान तांकां नीस गोंयकार म्हणूंक जाता.
Sarke, these are the Nis Goinkar.
नीस गोंयकार
Yeah,
who love their
Nis-
land
Who love their land, Money can,
and don't want to part with it.
Exactly. Money can, if we have honest and see sincere, or with your
So
work.
such action from such Goenkar is kind of a booster dose for you social
Exactly.
activists. Am I right?
Exactly. So this is when we met up, and everybody was surprised, because
Shocked perhaps.
actually from that 100 crore, he
Yeah.
is the biggest beneficiary.
I see.
6.35 is not something, that you just,
Ignore.
and nobody can ignore actually.
Orville Bab, last time before the monsoon set in, during
Yeah.
the summer period,
Yeah.
your Goinso Ekford has been closely monitoring the works of RVNL.
Correct.
And at one point of time, you were against this, the laying of the bunds and
Yeah,
constructing new,
exactly.
widening, broadening the old pathways and
Correct,
things like this of ancestral Goa. जाल्यार हे पाट तुमी मान्सून टायमार ह्या कामा खातीर खंयचोच तरी फ्लडिंग पडलेला ह्या विलेजीनी, स्पेशली वेलसांव.
Yeah. What we had done.
Certain areas were earmarked by y'all, and we were
Correct,
closely
correct.
monitoring it.
Correct.
The in manner in which they were doing the works, developmental works.
Correct. See, in their wisdom, our ancestors, when they allowed, I am saying allowed, the then British East India Company to lay the tracks in 1890s, they they asked for a buffer zone.
Okay.
Okay. Now this buffer zone was during summer was used as used for their conveyance, going, because those time railways was a boon for Goa actually.
Right. Yeah.
And during the monsoon season, this was used as a storm water drains.
Okay.
And even we used to, at my childhood, we used to even catch fish there, small canare, that all the tigur and all those type of local fish we used to even, I used to catch there. For us, it was like a
sweet water
fish. Okay. Therein came the railways. They claimed that this buffer zone belongs to them. We are saying it is, as villagers, we call it as a right of way. And we have gone to court.
So actually speaking about this buffer zone, shouldn't we be, actually complimenting the ancestors,
Of course.
for their vision that they had
Exactly.
to earmark a buffer zone?
And not only that, see, they had that houses, the ancestral houses, which are all facing the track. Why is it? This particular route was actually used for as carriageways, for horse carriages, for bullock carts,
I see.
palki tinji orpa lokan. That was from Chandor right up to Murmugaon. So this was a ready-made track, and because if you see all the old houses, they are facing the track.
Okay.
So even my paternal grandfather's house is facing the track, though my cousins they reside there. So what I'm saying is, this trench what they had made possibly was as a vibration damper.
I see.
You understand? When you cut off the land, and so this
to absorb the
impact. Now what the railways are doing, they have backfilled this land.
Yeah.
And the stormwater drains, which I had pointed out to the 2 times the local MLA he came to the scene, and I pointed out to him, see, this is our traditional stormwater drains. They are backfilling in this area. How do we act? He was just mum,
Orville, तुमचो गोंयचो एकवट आतां इतले पोट तिडकेन व्हांवता तुमच्यो विलेजी सांबाळपाक, तुमची एन्सेस्ट्रल घरां सांबाळपाक, प्रॉपर्टी सांबाळपाक, जाल्यार ह्या तुमच्या मुवमेंटान तुमकां युथा कडसून सपोर्ट मेळटा. आर द यूथ रियली कन्सर्न वॉट्स हॅपनिंग इन दियर विलेजीस? आर दे विथ दिस ग्रूप ऑफ गोंयचो एकवट?
In 2020, 2021 and 22, last 3 years, what we have noticed is the youth. Yes, they are interested to be with us. Dr. Father Balmex Pereira is also a great motivator of youth.
Yes.
He has his Chikali Youth Farmers Club, and through him they had joined forces with Goinso Ekwood. We conducted 84 meetings at that point of time, and at every public awareness meetings during peak COVID. Captain Virat Fernandez also was part of that. Ramakant Kundkar, so many leaders, emerged from that. This Ella Mascarin is one of our. Olenso Simois. I can name so many leaders. These are all youth that can bring up Goa.
So there is hope.
There is hope.
That second line is getting prepared.
So that is
to stand up for Goa.
That is
that is important.
That is important. So about 100, 200 between 100 and 200 youth were they now got an idea what is activism all about, and they are there. Some have moved overseas for their job prospects, but most of them are still there in Goa, and now we are trying, to go to areas where we had never been before.
म्हाका एक सांग ऑर्विल, आतां उणी बरी 3-4 वर्सां जालीं तुमी ह्या डबल ट्रॅकिंगाचेर तुमचो आवाज उठयतात. इतले तुमी त्याग केले, इतले तुमी अवेरनेस प्रोग्राम्स केले, and you are always in the forefront, fighting for your
Correct.
ancestral property rights to preserve the villages in the same manner.
Correct.
Then, on this issue, is your MLA with you, and why is the government not paying heed to your request?
See, we have approached our honorable MLA, Antoine Vaz. And we have met him actually. He has come to the site and discussed this matter. But I feel take a voice, Pavana,
Komi
Patta, and not because he maybe in his interest, maybe he wants to do, I don't know what is in his mind. But as I see it, even during the last assembly session, there was some discussion by Elton De Costa, our MLAs, and Vijay Sardesai. He preferred to walk out. I mean, your village is under attack.
Okay.
Your constituency is under attack. It's the most affected. You don't do such things. So there lives a big question mark, why, what is the reason? Same thing with our honorable CM. On in that the previous tenure of the government, we met Babu Kavlekar. He was the deputy CM. We went to his house early morning, 6 o'clock in Betul. Team consisting of Alenso Simois, myself, and Royla Fernandez and others. We went along with the panchas of Betul Nakeri Panchayat.
I see.
Because at that point of time, there was an issue of that satellite port coming up at Betul. So when we discussed this matter, he said, no, kahin chahiye nahinga. Then we showed him the Sagarmala plains. He was shocked. He said, don't worry. This was the 10th of October 2020. He said, ek dis di maga. Aun CM meeting arrange kariya. 11th, the next day, 11th October, we got a call at around 5 p.m. Falya machiya CM 15 minute ditlo. We were we were happy, Deputy CM is, arranging a meeting. Because previously I had met the CM through Wakat 5 times. And, every time he was giving us assurances. But here we were at a larger group as, as going to Ekwood. I called up our leaders, Captain Virat Fernandez, Ella, Royla, all these leaders, they came. And there was one gentleman who is no more longer with us, Julius Hedrick Aguiar. He was the one who was the guy who is to be there, in every possible way. And so many others, they joined us. And along with the Betul Nakeri villages, we had a meeting which was supposed to last for 10 or 15 minutes. It lasted for 1 hour, 40 minutes. And CM, feigned ignorance that we were ready with all the documentation.
Yes.
And he said, he stood up, he said, I will not allow this. And similar words were also uttered by our late CM, Manohar Parrikar. He is not there, so I do not want to, comment on whatever. So promises are being, but not being maintained. I don't know. Voice of Goa is not being heard. That's what I feel, and that's what the people at large feel. Because despite having all these assurances, works are still going on. And every time and now we have to come on the streets. We have to go to the course of taking recourse to legal remedies. So.
ऑर्विल आमचो टायम सोंपत येता पूण 1-2-3 क्वेश्चन आहात म्हजे कडेन.
ओके.
आनी तुमचो सरळ जबाब जाय. एक आमी पळयलां हो तुमचो गोंयचो एकवट NGO जो वावुरता. गेले कांय म्हयने जाले जायतीच ट्रॅकांचेर चळवळी जाल्योत. RVNL आयले, काम सुरू केलें, पुलीस आयले, काम चालू दवरलें, तुमचो आवाज बंद केलो. त्या वेळार ह्या गोंयचो आवाज फुडाऱ्यांचे आमी स्वभाव पळयला. तुमी हे शांतपणी करतात. कसलीच तिडोक राग तुमचे हाचे दिसना आनी शांतपणी तुमी तुमचो आवाज उठयतात विथ डॉक्युमेंटेशन. जाल्यार हाऊ इज दीस पॉसिबल? हाचो गूट कितें टू मेंटेन सच decent manner of agitation without getting aggressive.
See,
What is the secret behind this?
See, the secret, there is no such secret. See, आता त्या मुनीस ते कामदार आहा न्हू, they are doing a work. They are under instructions.
Yes.
It is not that railway worker, he wants to construct for him. Tomorrow he will construct and he will leave. So he is doing it, तो अपना पटा लागून ते काम करता. So even the engineers, for example, they are on a mission. I have been an engineer I have done infrastructure projects. But those projects, we had a scheme and we had a plan and we had people even to, to take care of their needs and things. Those who are engaged there, and even the police, they are under instruction of XYZ. So they are coming not out of their own accord, either because it is their job or they are under instruction. So what happens? We as as a civilized society, socially conscious, we should not create more issues than there already are. So all the time, that's why we at Going Backward, we don't want anything that to
go out of
way. See what has happened. Why Dubai has progressed? I'll just put in 1 minute. Dubai has progressed because there is to be discussion across the table between there were a lot of tribes there earlier when I was there. And the Sheikh used to call them and they have discussions.
I see.
So there was, there was not much this, you have to take the people into confidence and tell them, yes, in whatever way that this is good for you, this project could be good for you. And if it is not good for you, like the SEZ, for example, that point of time, SEZ was I think was the only, it was taken off, it was shelved.
You mean to say there should be a discussion across the table,
and that,
right?
Yeah, there should be discussion between authorities
and the
people,
locals.
And if the authorities feel that these projects are detrimental to the to the development, see the word is development. Now when the railways come, they are destroying us. Where is the development? Whole night we do not get sleep. Whole night they blare their horns. Trains, rakes are moving. People are, most of the people along that route are having cardiac issues. Why? Because they are not getting, sleep, proper sleep. They sleep. People used to sleep, wake up at people in those villages. They are used to waking up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, going to church, then to market. Now we see people sleeping after the trains because the daytime they do. People wake up. My mother, for example, she wakes up at 10 o'clock in the morning because the whole night she's awake, kept awake by the passing trains.
You mean to say the sleep cycle of an individual is disturbed?
It is disturbed, yes.
And it has
it is leading to cardiac, to health issues, high blood pressure, so many things.
म्हाका एक सांग ऑर्विल, आता हे तुमचे झूज ओ ही तुमची चळवळ कितलो काळ मेरेन तुम्ही चलयतले?
As long as it is needed, because today I am here, tomorrow I may be gone, but there are a lot of people, and I'm happy that a lot of youth. Consciously we are not exposing this youth because we know XYZ will go after them.
Yes.
They have their job prospects. Some of them are employed. Some of them are on the verge of employment. They have their future. But the youth are there with us.
And they have the power within them.
They have the power. See, today everything, is with the youth. Those youth, I say, from 18 to 35 years. We have a whole lot of youth with us.
So you are firm in your resolve that you will continue this.
Yes. And it's not only, it's not only
come to an amicable settlement and a solution, so to say.
See, they have to understand. We are ready for.
You are ready.
We are ready for discussion. But no negotiation on as far as land is concerned. Yeah. One more thing I want to tell our kind viewers: Going Backward is not only about double tracking. When 2 years back there was these floods in Valpoi, in Bironde, in Satari, in Taluka, in Usgaon, we were the first. We made a call through just some flyers, and people of Salseth, I will tell you, they responded, with floods of. There was flood in my area with blankets, supplies,
material
essential supplies, food, 27 tons of food grains, blankets, the sheeting for was collected through so many parishes. They also merged with us. Chikali parish was one of the foremost in this run. And we, it was so gratifying that even people, from Salseth, Kapiang, Kankorn also, those areas they came up, just
And they have concern for their fellow
that,
girls.
yeah, this was what felt that, oh yes, we are doing something. Apart from that, we have conducted plantation drives with the Indian Navy, coordination with Indian Navy, with so many clubs, with CYFC over the years. Mole, we have done plantation. Along the beach coast, we have done for sand erosion. We have also done, this year we have taken up the mangrove plantation, drive, which is so essential to arrest the sand erosion along the coastline. We have done for the Western Bypass, architect Royla, she was in the forefront of our, we have been still fighting for that Western Bypass on steels. So yes, there are a lot of things happening.
So anyway, Orville, it was nice to have you in our studios. And
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Welcome. So हे जावन असलेत ऑर्विल दोरादो रॉड्रिग्स गोंयचो एकवट ह्या NGOचे फुडारी डबल ट्रॅकिंगा आड ते झुजतात आनी जशें ताणें म्हणलां आमच्या गोंयांक आमची गरज आनी हेंच मनान घेवन ताणें एक बरो जॉब सोडून आपल्या गोंयां परतलो गोंयां खातीर गोंयची राखण करपाक आनी जें कितें वायट जाता ताचे आड झुजपाक. तर पळयत रावात तुमचे आवडीचें चॅनल द CCR TV चॅनल. देव बरें करूं.